Hello, hello, hello. My name is Ashleigh D and I'm a business astrologer located in Chicago, Illinois. And this is my weekly wisdom for the week of September 12th, 2016. So, it's a crazy week thus far. I apologize for the delay in this, but again, it's been a nutty week. But I'm still going to go through Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, even though they've already passed, just in case something resonates with you or you wanted to get some insight on maybe things that have already happened and you're just like, well, where did that come from? So I'll give you the tea on that. And also, I'm kind of glad I waited until midweek in order to do this week's weekly wisdom, because I wanted to really impress upon you all the importance of the Pisces full moon / lunar eclipse that's happening this Friday. So give me one moment. I will grab my notes, and I'm actually going to get into one more thing. Before I get started, I almost forgot. I want to say thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking and sharing this. If you would be so kind, you can just like this video or share it, subscribe, so everybody can get their weekly wisdom. And if you would like to use my weekly wisdom worksheet, you can grab it at bit.ly/adjweekly or ashleighdjohnson.com/weekly wisdom, which is where you can find it. So you can follow along and take some notes. So if you just, there's a button on the weekly wisdom page at ashleighdjohnson.com/weekly wisdom, or you can click download the worksheet. And that is where you can immediately download the worksheet to write down and figure out what was said on this video and work it out for yourself. So there you go. So just to recap last week was a bit rocky. A lot of miscommunications, kind of a lot of time to really nail things down and get to work and start to make sense of some of the things that have been presenting themselves to us, and starting to kind of put things into action, put things in motion. And this week is more so about, okay, now, we've got a Capricorn moon. Well, Monday was a Capricorn moon on the 12th. And that's about, establishing, building a structure. And then we have the Aquarius moon that, deals with exchanging ideas and networking, connecting with people, finding your tribe, finding your group. And we have a Pisces moon, which is, of course, getting in touch with your feelings, spirituality, kind of the sense that we are all connected. And finally, we have an Aries moon, starting new things, initiating, go, go, go. So this week is really about wrapping up those loose ends, really getting off your bullshit and getting out here and doing what it is that you're here to do. You don't serve anyone, especially not yourself, by playing small. And that's something that I've been dealing with heavy for, honestly, a great chunk of my life, honestly. Just kind of the ways we play ourselves and just, keep ourselves held back by fear, or, having a victim mentality of, oh, well, so-and-so did this to me. And it's like, well, no, you have to take responsibility for yourself and what you did and what you brought to the equation. And, kind of clearing those cobwebs and getting clear on your dreams. And this week is definitely going to help you support that, and also help you let go of the things that are no longer serving you in your life. This full moon is really, really, really important for you to get comfortable with purging and letting this go, and getting comfortable with your emotions, how you feel, and allowing yourself to really go all in emotionally, and be honest about where you're at and your spiritual growth, and how, your emotions fit into that as well. So I'm going to start kind of recapping the first half of the week, and then I'll bring it back to where we are right now. So for Monday the 12th, we had started off with, Capricorn moon. The Capricorn moon, it trined Mercury And that was about, rethinking your work, long-term goals and authority, how you want to become an authority in your given field. And it was also, one moment, Mercury retrograde is playing games with my screen. Okay. So, and the Capricorn moon on Monday was also dealing with, karmic issues around healing things, around maybe your reputation at work, or just kind of the traditional role that you've played in your family. That happened thanks to the moon sextile in Chiron. Chiron's the wounded healer. So that's energy around you starting to, put some effort and some oomph behind, your healing. Then the moon squared Uranus. That is definitely, and that actually happened at 6 in the morning Eastern time on Monday the 12th. And that, kind of breaks the productivity spell. So Monday may have been a tough day for you to really focus and get things done. And, Capricorn energy wants to, go, go, go. And, Uranus wants to just do what it wants to do. It doesn't really care about Capricorn's plans. But, Uranus and Aries is great for starting things, but not necessarily finishing them. So you'll have the desire to start or to follow through, or at least make some good headway. And that Uranus and Aries is just going to want to disrupt everything. So if you had any issues with people disrupting your workflow on Monday, that's probably why. Then Mercury squared Mars on Monday at 2:58 p.m. Eastern. And that was more so, folks having really impatience for people who don't see your vision. Like if people don't get it, then they just don't get it. And it's really just that simple. You don't really have to stress yourself out about that too much. But, Monday wasn't such a great time for meetings. I'm sorry if you had any meetings on Monday. There definitely some irritable and self-righteous communication on Monday. And like I said, it can stir up controversy with what is said. So, whatever happened Monday, kind of take it with a grain of salt and see what you can do to just move forward, because you have a lot more important things to worry about. Then, on Monday at 5:28 p.m., the moon went into Aquarius. So that's great energy for, connecting with people, groups, socializing, sharing ideas, innovating, brainstorming, all of that. That's great stuff. So, and then shortly after that, the moon trine Jupiter in Libra. So that's huge, 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 huge. Good energy. We've been kind of starved for air in the sky, at least the cosmic astrological sky, because we've, most of the year we've really had a lot of mutable energy in the sky with, Neptune and Pisces and Saturn and Sag, and, whatever's, in Virgo here and there. So it's been a lot of, tense, energy involving some really movable, signs. And now we've got Jupiter in Libra, which is, a big planet. It's a benefic, meaning it benefits whatever it touches. And it's in Libra. So it's time for us to come out of our, Jupiter and Virgo self-imposed, self-improvement retreat we've been on, and, get out here and show these people who you are now. Like, you're a different person. You've grown, you've changed, you've put in the work, or at least hopefully you've put in the work. Because if you haven't, then Jupiter in Libra is going to show that, given, the balance and the harmony in your relationships going forward, be it business or personal or whatever. So yeah, then, actually with moon trine Jupiter, that was a good evening for, going out socializing, looking good. Libra likes to look good, being open-minded, hanging out with people that have the kind of same quirky interests as you do. So if you connected with people on Monday, kind of on a, out of nowhere wave, then, just, you're on the right path. So, just keep doing it. Then on Monday evening, the sun conjoined with Mercury, and both of them are in Virgo. And this is definitely energy around being able to clean house and review any past issues or barriers that you've had to your wellness, be it physical, mental, emotional wellness, or financial. You could be thinking about changing jobs, could be thinking about, trying to nail down a new healthy lifestyle and build a regimen for yourself. That's definitely something that you can, look forward to. You've got the energy behind you in order to do it, and you know what you should be doing. You know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Like, why are you playing these games? Like, like, stop acting like you don't know. And so don't let fear keep you from, being a better version of yourself. And a better version of yourself doesn't necessarily mean that you're terrible now. It just means that you know that you can improve and move forward and make adjustments so that you can be even more amazing, you know, as you. Because that's what people want. They just want you to be yourself, whoever that is. So allow yourself to be yourself and give yourself an opportunity to put in the effort and put in the work to, be the best. Michael Jackson was a Virgo. Beyonce is a Virgo. I mean, they are the best because they work hard. They are out here putting in the man hours, the woman hours, iterating constantly. And Virgos can be very creative, but they also have that perfectionist side. Like Virgos kind of get that creative energy from Leos. And so, not from Leos, but in the zodiac story, Leo kind of picks up the baton of creativity, and Virgo picks it up and says, okay, well, this is great, but it could be better. And so that's really all it is. Virgo energy is like, oh, this is great. It's dope, but we can make this a little bit better. We can refine it a little bit. So that is Monday. Well, that was Monday. Tuesday was pretty chill. It kicked off with moon sextile Saturn. By now the moon is in Aquarius on Tuesday the 13th. So, moon sextile Saturn, opportunity to, ground these ideas, put a new spin on the things that you've been working on with your vision for your life or your business or your career. And it's a reminder to organize and structure all of this inspiration and insight and revelations that you're receiving in order to, move ahead and do what it is that you want to do. So it's a reminder, like, yes, you're excited. It's great. These ideas are lit. It's everything. But this is when you shouldn't necessarily just blaze ahead and get into it. This is when you take in the ideas, you take in the stuff, and you say, okay, I'm going to map this out. I'm going to make it plain, make it real. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you release it, to the masses just yet. It's still time to really do things behind the scenes and work on, your ideas, your vision, all of that, because you're going to have plenty of time to put all of that out in October and November and beyond. But right now, it's the time to be in the lab, like seriously in the lab. Then also on Tuesday, we had the Sun square Saturn. So that energy is very much around, getting things done, but there's a bit of a disconnect because, Mercury is currently retrograde. So the sun is in Virgo, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is currently in Virgo. So, and Mercury rules Virgo. Well, I think I said that already, but retrograde, say everything 2-3 times, but Mercury's retrograde right now. So it's not completely at its best. Or at least at, where we'd like it to be for things to move forward. And then Mars is still, is just shaking off, Saturn's energy of all that kind of blockage or restriction or control. So it's like things are starting to slowly pick back up and move forward. Like you should be hearing from people that maybe, said, oh, I'm gonna book a session with you, or, I'm gonna, we're gonna close that deal, or, we're gonna, connect, or, you may be waiting for deals to come through, and this may be, where people start coming back into the woodwork. So it's time for you to be okay with the fact that, yes, things are, picking back up and it's exciting and I just want to blaze ahead, but still chill out, be cool, just day by day, task by task, minute by minute. Just do your best to focus. Don't feel like you just need to blaze all the way ahead. Like, it's okay to just take your time and work it out. Although you do need to be consistently working. Like, don't mistake what I'm saying that you just, chill and be on the island with a drink, with a pretty flower in it. Like, no. You need to be working, but work smart. You can work hard, but you also need to work smart. So yeah, and then that leads me to Wednesday, today. So today, moon is still in Aquarius. And today started off with the moon trine Venus. And Venus is currently a Libra. And that's real good social butterfly energy. Be your beautiful, weird, amazing self. Connect with other people. People are going to be attracted to you and, your energy. So, as long as you're putting your authentic self out there, then people will respond. Then the moon was in conjunct Mercury at 3:53 a.m. Eastern time. And that's more along the lines of having like anxiety around not being perfect. And I want to say to you all and to myself, you don't have to be perfect. Like, use the Aquarian detachment of the day to be objective and judge yourself less. Like, don't judge yourself for everything. Like, yes, be aware, like, maybe I didn't do this or I could have done this better. But, all you have is right now. And all you can do is build towards your future. And Aquarius is very future focused. So don't feel like you just have to, oh, I gotta nail this, or I gotta stop stressing yourself out and be objective. Like, give yourself, like, look at the big picture. Like, you have to, like, Virgo likes details and Aquarius likes big picture, and you kind of have to marry the two of them, and that can be difficult. But Aquarius and Virgo kind of want some of the same things. We both like order. I don't care what anybody says to you. Aquarius people, we may be, unusual and quirky and may do things at random, but please believe there's an order in here somewhere that we have. So, whatever that order is, find it, center yourself, gather yourself. Like, don't be, how do I put this? Don't squander your energy. Aquarius people can be very regimented and disciplined. Like, we can very much lean into the Saturn side of things instead of the surprise Uranian things. So make sure that you're, yes, giving yourself room to be spontaneous, to have fun and, get inspiration, but do your damn work. So there you go. And don't, get too anxious about it. Don't get too in your feelings about it. Like, the work isn't really looking for your feelings right now. Like, just, you got to do the work. You got to push past it. Tap into that Saturn energy and just go. It helps if you make a plan. It helps if you have a plan, a very clear, defined plan to help you really knock this stuff out and be realistic about what you can do. Your energy level, your mental state, your emotional state, your mental and emotional capacity. Just really be honest with yourself about where you're at and check in with your body. Aquarius energy can be, is detached. So a lot of times, a lot of folks with Aquarius placements or Aquarius, heavy Aquarius energy, we tend to be not aware of when our bodies, need food or water, because we're so hyper focused on, getting things done that, like, oh God, it's been 12 hours and I haven't eaten, like things like that. So, yeah, definitely anything you can do to ease your anxiety, maybe talk to some friends, have them give you a pep talk and have them run down your receipts and just, remind you of who you are. And then actually the next part of the day also follows that with the moon sextile Mars in Sagittarius, and that was at 8:23 a.m. today, Eastern time. And that definitely will help you work without judgment. It'll also, help you work for the benefit of the collective and for the betterment of the collective. And the key is to remember that it is not about you, beloved. This work we do, no matter whether you're an accountant or a baker or an astrologer or a dancer or whatever, the work that we do is not solely for us, it's for others. If you're an accountant, and you catch an error for somebody and it like, oh my God, you just saved me like so much money. Or oh my God, you just kept me out of like, tax fraud. Like stuff like that. Like, or if you're a baker, a cookie, like, oh, this cookie reminds me of my grandmother and it brought such great memories to me. Like you can be a blessing to people no matter what you do. So don't get hung up on the fact that you feel like, oh, my job isn't, I'm not this or I'm not that. No, you're who you are, and everything that we do has a potential to bless somebody. So don't discredit or discount what you do, because at the end of the day, it's not about you. It's about this service, especially under this, Virgo season. Virgo is about service to others. Like it's definitely the time for us to get out of our feelings. I know we've had a ton of feelings this year. I too had to get out of my feelings. So, because I'm not telling you all this just to be like some, oh, I'm the astrologer and I know everything. Like, no, sis, I don't. Like maybe that's the jig. I don't know, but I'm here learning this just like you all are. And I think that's what makes for good astrology. You're always learning, always growing, because things are always changing and always moving. You're always evolving. So, sometimes you have to detach in order to accept the changes that are going to make you a better person and also serve other people. So that leads me into the next aspect, which is the moon quincunx the sun in Virgo. Quincunx is also in conjunct. And this particular, contact is about, again, adjusting to the fact that it's not about you. And like I said before, this also helps you check in with your body. What do you need? Do you need more fruits and veggies? Do you need to get some more movement? Do you need more water? Speaking of water, it's a perfect segue to allow me to get some water. Thank you. And so, what do you need? Like, what do you need in order to be your best, in order to, run this race and to get that promotion? Like, what physical shape do you need to be in to make this stuff happen? Because this shit is happening. Like, I don't know about you, but like whatever it is that you're working on, whatever it is you got in the works, whatever changes they are that you've been trying to push yourself towards, like they're happening. Like, like it just is. It's happening. And so you have to get used to the idea that you're a new person and you're in uncharted territory, and it's like, I don't know what to do with this new stuff that's happening to me that I wanted, but now that I'm in it, it's not that I don't want it, but I don't know what to do with it because I've never done this before. That's normal. It's okay. Just accept it. Accept that it's happening. Accept that you deserve it. Accept that you're worthy, and accept that your old self is gone. Let it go. Let it go. Then also on Wednesday today, we have the moon sextile Uranus, and that was at 11:31 a.m. Eastern time. And the moon went void at that point. So basically the rest of the day has been really dedicated to, routine tasks, not really starting anything completely new that you want to see, grow. And because void moons is essentially like the moon's in the process of changing clothes, essentially like changing into a new sign. And, it's kind of naked, essentially trying to decide like, okay, well, what am I going to do next? I'm not, I'm not touching and tagging nobody. So I'm just going to be here until it's time for me to put on my new outfit. And void moons are a time for you to, relax, to meditate, to reflect, and plan for any upcoming projects. Write your list, write your to-do list, write your plans for the rest of the week, or just for tomorrow. Like get a head start on what it is that you want to accomplish later on in the week. But it's perfectly fine for routine tasks. I would not advise you to go to the grocery store during a void moon. Your produce can spoil a lot more quickly. So I would not advise going to the grocery store this evening on Wednesday as of 5:20 p.m. Central Time. Just save it for tomorrow. And then that leads me into Oh, actually, I didn't even explain what was happening with the moon sextile Uranus. Bloop, look at me blazing too far ahead. Um, but definitely that's a lot of electricity, a lot of energy. You could get sudden realizations on who you are, because that's airy stuff, I am, and your role in this whole, grand scheme of things. So Aquarius is actually ruled by Uranus. So, the Aquarius moon is very happy to be in touch with its ruler. And the Aries energy is very much about, asserting the self. So, who are you right now? Are you quirky? Are you crazy? Are you, lazy? Are you, anything? Just, who are you? What do you like? What are you into? Who do you hang out with? Who do you serve? So that's definitely the time for you to start. Um, Tonight is a good time to reflect, at least during the evening, at least during the day, like reflect on, okay, here's where I'm at, this is what I'm doing, and, kind of see a big picture, where you're at, and why you want to do this next thing. Because Aquarian energy is very much about, it's not about doing something just for the hell of it. Although sometimes we do that, kind of in a space of like curiosity. But Aquarius energy, when it comes to serving others, like we got to do it because we want to. We feel inspired to give and to serve and to, actually help people. So, how is who you are helping people? Something to consider. And you could also get some really good ideas today. So just write them down. Don't, be too attached about what to do with them just yet. Just, document them as they come. And so that leads me into Thursday. Thursday the 15th. We start off with, I'm again jumping too damn far ahead. Just, you clearly see the Lord is working upon me. So, but back to Wednesday, because the moon enters Pisces at 10:23 p.m. Eastern time. So Pisces moons are great for, sleeping, meditating, writing, dreaming, anything creative, connecting with other people that are of a similar spiritual background as you. Anything to do with mysticism, for all my witches out there, pagan and alike, all my black girl magic, like real magic sisters, it's real. That's a time for us to, start to connect, and we're gonna start feeling as the week goes on, feeling that eclipse energy as we approach Friday. So, give yourself time to really rest if you can. Be careful who you surround yourself with, because Pisces energy, we can be very susceptible to other people's energy, and it's not even something that consciously happens. It's just, Pisces is all about the we're one. We're all connected, the kind of universality of everything. The sun, shines on the plant, and the plant's rooted in the ground, and the rain falls from the sky, and it's this ecosystem thing happening. So just be mindful about who you're around, whether their energy is, good, bad, or whatever doesn't feel good to you, because that's going to be super important as we head into this Pisces full moon on Friday. But moon in conjunct or quincunx Jupiter in Libra, that is basically getting yourself aware. And actually, I'm sorry, that moon quincunx Jupiter in Libra is happening on Thursday the 15th at 12:28 a.m. Eastern, or 9:28 p.m. on Wednesday if you are on the West Coast. So that energy is basically becoming aware of the spiritual and emotional balance in your life. Do you need filters? Do you need to start, making some boundaries with some folks? Are you resonating with the people that you really get down with, like on a spiritual level and an intuitive level? Like, what's their energy? Like, there may need to be an adjustment made. And Jupiter, yes, it gives benefits, but it also expands and really points out, okay, well, this is kind of janky over here, but I'm gonna blow it up. Like, that Jupiter does not discriminate. Because remember, Jupiter is a child of Saturn. Jupiter, as the myth goes, Jupiter was one of Saturn's children, and Saturn used to like to, out of fear, eat his children. And Jupiter was the only one that survived. And it basically shows that, you know, if you're willing to fight through the obstacles and be optimistic and really believe, then you can reap the rewards. So you can only reap the rewards, though, if you do the work and you believe. So finding like-minded or like-spirited is going to be really important, and it may take some adjustment. You may be surprised at who you thought was on the same spiritual wavelength as you, and they may not be. So that's something to keep in mind. Then at 4:27 a.m., we have the sun opposite Chiron. Sun's in Virgo, Chiron's in Pisces. And this is really about, you know, you looking to really grow, heal, or improve yourself through others. You know, you may not be completely confident or clear, especially since, you know, again, Sun in Virgo is answering to Mercury in Virgo, which is retrograde currently. But you could also be afraid to share or be vulnerable with people. So that's definitely something to, you know, keep in mind. I mean, you could be, you know, could have some painful memories surface, you know, through a conversation with somebody, or you see a situation play out and you find yourself wanting to kind of tackle that, and or you may see a pattern in your relationships and you may go, oh shit, I need to, like, this is still something that's tender to me. This is still something that hurts me. And I need to really kind of get my shit together and start to really create those boundaries, or at least create a plan or a process or a system for me to heal these particular wounds. So, and it's also going to be important for you to forgive, let go, and move forward, especially as we get closer to this Pisces full moon on Friday. So I think you may get some inklings on Thursday as to, you know, what could possibly be, you know, the issue with, you know, with this full moon. Like, you may get kind of a bit of a preview on some of the things that you'll be working on. Then at 3:45 p.m., we have the moon conjunct Neptune. So Pisces moon, emo city. Neptune and Pisces, emo galaxy. Like, just lots of emotion, lots of energy. You know, just take this time to relax and just tune into what God, Goddess, Creator, Source, Spirit, your intuition, I mean, whatever or whoever you want to call it, slow down, relax, and pay attention to what they are saying. You're going to feel intuitively wide open, like energetically wide open. I just want you all to be prepared, because right now there's, as we approach the lunar eclipse tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, Friday, there's a particular aspect pattern in the sky, and it's called a mystic rectangle. And basically what it is, it's couple trines, couple sextiles, and some oppositions. And they basically form like a rectangle with an X in it. And that aspect pattern is considered to be a marker of like spiritual work, that, you know, like people call light workers on the internet. If you find like a mystic rectangle in someone's chart, that usually indicates they have some, you know, intuitive abilities or some intuitive work to do on the planet. So for that particular aspect to be pretty active for, you know, the next couple of days, it really just kind of means that, you know, the portals are open. Like, it's like this lunar eclipse is really shaping to be something really monumental. And I know we say that all the time about, you know, just about every new moon, full moon, whatever. But this one in particular is coming at a time where we've had a really rough year. We've had a really rough couple years. I mean, these last few years with these Pisces, Virgo axis eclipses have been tough. We have eclipses, you know, twice a year, usually about 6 months apart. And if you notice, you know, think about where you were for the Pisces new moon earlier this year, which was, if you will give me a moment, I will find out when that was for you. That happened March 8th. So think back to March 8th and what was going on in your life around then. That was the new moon. So if you set any intentions, check back over them and see what progress you've made on them, because now we have the full moon, which represents, culmination, release, letting go. Full moons illuminate. They show, make you aware of, where you may need some work and where things may be kind of falling off, and where you could, where you need to kind of put some elbow grease into it. So, but yeah, this sun opposite Chiron tomorrow on Thursday is very much about, kind of becoming aware of like, okay, well, where do I need to do this healing work? And you kind of get an inkling of that before Friday. Then at 4:25 p.m., we have the moon square Saturn. So that could be a moment of depression. Saturn does, deal with restriction control, and it could be, a sense of, feeling like, oh God, I got to do all this stuff. And, I didn't know that I was still like that fucked up, and, just feeling bad and feeling sorry for yourself. Don't fall into the victim mentality. It's very easy to do under Pisces moon, under a Pisces moon, and also just under Neptune in Pisces. It's very easy to delude yourself and to think, oh, this is happening to me, and I just didn't, I don't know why, and blah blah blah. You know why? Stop playing. Like, just focus on your responsibilities. Focus on the practical. Ground yourself. Don't worry about that fantasy frou-frou shit. Just what's happening right now. If you're broke and you got bills to pay and you have a means and a way to make money, well, get out there and do it. Stop allowing yourself to be a victim and saying, oh, well, nobody's buying from me, and da 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 da. Are you promoting yourself? Is your site clear? Is that together? Do people know how to pay you? Do people know what you offer? Like, you have to focus on the real tangible things instead of, how you feel about everything. Because there's enough feeling to go around. You're going to do that, no problem. But this moon square Saturn is, basically getting you to focus on your responsibilities and focus on what needs to be done rather than what you feel about what needs to be done. The time for feeling, at least allowing feeling to prevent you from taking action, is over. So just want to let that be clear. Then at 9:51 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday the 15th, we have the Sun quincunx Uranus. So this particular energy is about, making sure that you think before you act. Please, please, please don't be out here acting cavalier, because we've got a lot of, fated events, fated contacts, kind of flying around. And this isn't the time to like play reindeer games. If you're really serious about, getting rid of that person or doing whatever, do you. But don't be surprised when or if, they don't come back. This is the time for like clearing out. We are separating the wheat from the chaff. Like, this is not a game. Like, if you want them to be gone, then let them go. And if you want to give it another try, then do that. But you have to decide and you have to commit. And just, stay steady. And, you'll start to break through obstacles. Just slow and steady. Not slow and steady, but just stay steady, stay focused. Don't let that Uranus crazy Aries energy, distract you and be, oh, shiny thing over there. Like, no. Just stick to the plan. And, if you need to make adjustments for surprises, then do so. Make some, leave some room in your schedule for surprises. But don't feel like, you just gotta, float off with the next, cute, quick thing. Like, you need to really focus on you and getting your shit together. So if they ain't got it together, well, they just ain't got it together, and that's just what's gonna have to be. Like, what can you do? And also make sure that you let go of anything that you are not in control of. That's tough for me to do. I'm just not gonna lie to you about that. But you have to let go. Like, if it's not your ministry, then it's not your ministry. Stop trying to run other people's ministries. Like, if the garbage man hasn't come, why are you trying to roll the garbage down to the next block? Like, leave that garbage where it is. It's not your job. It's not your job to pick up the garbage. On your personal resume, garbage picker upper is not on there. So stop it. Stop trying to do things that you have no control over. Do you already have your marching orders. You already know what you're supposed to be doing. You probably have a whole notebook full of to-do lists that ain't done nothing. So focus on that first. Don't worry about grabbing any new stuff. You have enough old stuff to do already. Do that. And then next month we can talk about something new. But for right now, work with what you have. Focus on your own paper right now. Then at 11:35 p.m., we have the moon sextile Pluto. So highly, highly emotionally charged, very intense energy. Pluto always brings the power and sometimes the pain. Very intense, big, just deep feeling energy. This could also result in you maybe starting a conflict in order to gain clarity on something. Pisces moon can have us in our feelings and feeling real, woe is me, And Pluto and Capricorn sometimes can like to, deal with a bit of a power struggle and to try to exert its force over somebody. Because like I said, Capricorn rules, Saturn rules Capricorn. So thus Capricorn deals with, control and power, restriction. So, don't feel like you have to, pick a fight in order to, get the information that you seek or to establish a transformation that you're making with people and also within yourself. This moon sextile Pluto could also be an opportunity for really finding out how or at least presenting an opportunity to establish a new spiritual code for yourself, a new spiritual, legacy, a new way of being. So don't be afraid to, kind of like express the truth of your emotions, but you gotta give in to what you feel. Like, stop fronting. This isn't the time for fronting. If you feel a way, then say, hey, I feel a way, and this is the kind of way that I mean. Like, just stop looking for other people to provide the clarity that you need to have within yourself. Like, this is an opportunity to really have some fertile ground around building a new spiritual foundation for yourself, a new emotional foundation. So, take what you experienced Thursday, take those emotions and, get the clarity you need, or, search for the clarity inside first. And then you can maybe ask somebody about it, but I'm sure you may not even get what you're looking for on late Thursday, because then shortly after that, there's at 11:54, Mars squares Chiron. And so with that particular energy, that can express itself as a moment that changes how you feel about certain parts of your journey. Like, you may be looking back and reflecting, and once you go through the moon sextile Pluto, getting to the bottom of what you really feel, your deep emotional truth, you could say to yourself, like, well, damn, I feel, XYZ, and that actually helped me, or that crazy situation turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Or, I lost this job, but I gained, a friend, or I gained this new opportunity. Just to be confession time, I was working at a job, last year, and I was, kind of, when I lost it, when I left, I'd always define myself by where I worked and what I did or where I went to school or whatever, because Aquarius, we are what we do. I have a lot of first house placements. So, I'm very much about, what I do represents who I am. And so having that removed like really shook me to my core. But that also gave me the opportunity to be able to travel, and also to be able to be free enough to, come home and, help my mother. She had surgery to, not for a bad reason, but just to, remove some hardware in her leg so she could walk better. And so because I wasn't, at the job anymore, I was able to come home and be here with her for 6 weeks and really like just take care of her, like waiting on her hand and foot, to really be there. And had I been, still at the job, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So, looking at things from a different perspective and saying, you know what, that still worked out for my greater good. That still benefited me. And now I can really start to heal that wound about, whatever I thought I lost. And that can go for you all too. It could feel like the realizations are, you could also feel like these realizations are kind of taking you off course, because you may say, oh, well, I felt this way about, where I've been, but I think now that I realize I don't feel that way anymore, or I put it into perspective, now I may not necessarily need to do this next step in my plan, because that step was predicated on what I felt about that old thing, but it doesn't really apply anymore. So, you could also, don't be hard on yourself about wanting to slightly change course or to adjust a bit. Apply the lessons that you've learned with compassion and clarity. So, forgive yourself for whatever mistakes you thought you made. Forgive yourself for feeling that way for so long. Or forgive yourself for not being over it yet. Or being over it but acting like you're not over it. Because we can be over something, but we're still holding on to those old emotions like, oh, well, they wronged me and this and that. And, and I'm just, it's done. Be done with it. Like, let it go. Be done. Like, that's it. So, be honest. Be honest with yourself about how you feel and where you're at and where you've been and where you want to go. Because those wounds will come up, the more you ignore them, honestly. And also, if you need to seek help, seek out a mentor or a therapist. You may realize like late Thursday night, like, damn, I got some things I got to deal with before I move into this next phase of my journey. I've got some wounds I need to heal. I have some things that are in the way or challenging me from proceeding with my vision the way I would like to. So, it's not necessarily a setback. It's just we got to make some changes before we can carry on. So then we have Friday 16th. We kick off with the moon opposite Mercury. That's at 3:46 a.m. Eastern time. And, again, think before you speak. Compassion is, really what we're after. Friday is going to be a super emotionally charged day, just with the lunar eclipse happening. So, just be compassionate, be mindful. Everybody's going through their own battle. You're not a victim. You're not a martyr. You don't have to sacrifice your happiness for other people. But, just be mindful that everybody that you're dealing with is also battling with something. And if you're really just like feeling feisty, you just got something to say or whatever, save it. Save it for Saturday when things are starting to slightly calm a tinge, or save it for next week. If unless it's something that is like life threatening or whatever, it could wait. If it's just you being in your feelings, well, baby, we all in our feelings. Like, it's so just, you're not the only one, beloved. So then at 10:18 a.m. we have the moon's quincunx Venus in Libra, and that's definitely about your love life being unsettled and a little hazy and crazy. Show some restraint and you'll be fine, because the full moon is just entirely too strong right now. So Pisces, like I said before, rules delusion, illusion, fantasy. So That moon quincunx Venus could also be that you recognize that somebody's just trying to pull a jig on you, and recognize that where you've been possibly, fantasizing a little too much about, that person, or about your relationships overall, and how you can bring harmony and balance to them. So that's also something to keep in mind. Then we have at 12:40 p.m. the moon conjunct Chiron. So this is where, we kind of have some rubber meeting the road as far as this emotional spiritual growth. It's an emotionally healing time. Watch out for any signs or signals to guide you. It could be loved ones trying to contact you from, beyond. And like if you have like a particular thing with, a grandparent, like, maybe your grandfather loved pocket watches. So you see like a pocket watch commercial, or somebody gives you one, or, you randomly look through your room and you find your grandfather's pocket watch. Like, just, be like, well, I didn't know if I put that there. Like, just little signs and signals, maybe like a number repeats for you. Like I said before, like, we're energetically, like, things are wide open with this eclipse energy, and just with that mystic rectangle that's hanging out in the sky pretty much throughout the last half of the week. So, we're all kind of spiritually sensitive right now, and intuitively and energetically sensitive. So that's just something to be mindful of. Then at 1:17 p.m. we have the moon square Mars, and that can definitely be like a moment of irritation. Just let it pass, let it go by. Take a walk, or go to the gym, or do something to engage your body and kind of get out of your feelings, and engage the physical, so that you can kind of shift that a bit. If for nothing else than just to allow the endorphins and all of that to, physically calm you down. Then at 3:05 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the moon opposite the sun, which is our Pisces full moon / lunar eclipse. And that is, I don't know how else to say it. Like, this full moon is one of the last in the series of the Pisces Virgo, eclipses. So we're really starting to like wrap things up. And I need you all to really be willing to go there. Be willing to let go. Full moons are about purging, releasing, and this one in particular is about letting go of fears around emotional connection. Again, like I said before, full moons illuminate things that may have been hidden to us before. So this can really shine a light on. The sun provides a light to the moon. The moon doesn't have its own light. So this could really be a time where you illuminate your emotional depths. You can, see where you have room to grow spiritually, and also have compassion for others and yourself, and accept the good with the bad, and not just be one-sided, not just be, the angel or the devil or the this or the that. Don't constrict yourself to, hard and fast labels. It's definitely complex, angry-ish energy for this full moon. You may just decide that you're spiritually sick of somebody's shit. Or be that your own or other people's. And also, it's also to remember that you're not a victim, you're not a martyr. Letting go of perfection. Learning to feel and connect more deeply, which can be difficult for a lot of people, including me. I'm a super Aquarius. Like, I'm accustomed to being detached, and it doesn't mean I don't feel anything. It's just, it doesn't override my decision making, essentially. But this Pisces full moon is about, learning how to discern who to let in. It's massive energy. I mean, Pisces, the Pisces end of it is powerful because Pisces ruling planet is Neptune, and Neptune is currently in Pisces, and the sun is in Virgo, and Virgo ruler is Mercury, and Mercury is currently in Virgo. I mean, they're both, they've got, rulership on their sides, but they're also both currently retrograde. And now Neptune being retrograde isn't a humongous deal because it happens, we spend half or a good chunk of the year with Neptune being retrograde, so we usually don't completely notice. But this particular full moon is really kind of fluctuating between our reality and our dreams. And instead of allowing yourself to wallow in your feelings and to kind of, get carried away with the fantasy or the sadness or the fear or whatever, this is a time for you to communicate. Open your mouth. Say what you are feeling. Be as clear as possible. And don't toss in a whole bunch of extracurricular, oh, I just want to hurt your feelings bullshit. That's not going to fly. Speak with clarity and compassion. That is what's going to serve you best over, this next several days, if not the rest of your life. Speak with clarity and compassion. If you remember nothing else from this particular weekly wisdom, is speak with clarity and compassion. Be clear and detailed on what it is that you feel. And also, think about the other person that's hearing the words that you're saying. Be mindful of their feelings. Be mindful of their, journey, of their perspective. And don't allow yourself to just, be, oh, I'm the hurt party here. And, even though, yes, they might have fucked up or whatever, but I mean, again, clarity, compassion. People mess up. They do. They make mistakes. And as long as they're not making the same ones, then we can have a talk. But it's also, Pisces full moon, it's also good to release people whose energy and juju is bad for you. You don't have to do that. You don't have to be around people you don't want to be around. You don't have to be nice to be nice. You can, erect those boundaries. You can give yourself space from people. And that's the Virgo side, is creating boundaries, creating a system, having rules, standards. Maybe you've been leaning too far on the Pisces side, and now you need some more, compassion. Not compassion. You need more structure, a little more order, a little more, clear process. Or maybe you've been leaning too heavily on the Virgo side, too regimented, too, overly analytical, too critical. And maybe you need to have a bit more compassion and understanding for yourself and others. So, different people are on different sides of the spectrum. But, again, this Pisces full moon, please purge, release, let go. If you need to meditate, if you need to cry, if you need to just sleep, if you need to write it out, sing it out, dance it out. I mean, whatever feeds your spirit, feed your soul, do it. Let go of the things that keep you, feeling stressed out and feeling weak and kind of feeling where you're not sure of yourself and where you're not necessarily clear. And also just where your intuition feels lacking. Like this is an intuition builder for sure. We're clearing out the spiritual cobwebs, letting go of those beliefs that keep us locked in this fantasy world that's not, real life. Lunar eclipses, they're good for, having kind of an emotional reboot. So you may find that you either, kind of get deeper into your feelings and allow yourself to go there, or you may find that you just, erect that boundary and you really let go of those toxic relationships and those toxic ties that keep you feeling like a victim or feeling like a martyr, letting go of those habits. That's also one other thing. If you want to release and purge and let go of bad habits, habits are, Virgo energy as well. So if there are things that are keeping you from being your best spiritual self or feeling, centered, let those things go. If you're into doing full moon rituals, you can write the things you want to release on a piece of paper and burn them or toss it or tear it up or however you want to do it. That's an exercise that I like to do on full moon. So now we move to Saturday. Saturday the 17th kicks off with the moon entering Aries at 12:22 a.m. Eastern time, or that's 9:22 p.m. on Friday the 16th if you are on the West Coast. And moon in Aries is good for, starting point, fresh start, new directives, new initiatives, blaze ahead and let's get it started. Let's get going. This is actually great for being after the full moon, because once we let all this stuff go, it's time to get to work. Time to get out here and show these people who you are and show yourself emotionally who you are. It's going to help with your ability to be more assertive. So that is definitely helpful. Then at 3:04 a.m. Eastern time, we have Mars trine Saturn. Not Saturn, Uranus. That is definitely strikes of inspiration, really good stimulating energy for existing projects. Again, we're still working on things that we started before August 22nd, which is when Mercury began to retrograde. And this Mars trine Uranus. I don't know why I want to keep saying Mars trine Saturn. I don't want Mars and Saturn to do things anymore. I can't with them. Like, I have Mars conjunct Saturn in my natal chart, so I'm not always a fan of when Mars and Saturn meet each other. But Mars trine Uranus. This is also a really good time to, have a breakthrough. Like, if you, do your full moon ritual the night before, you could get up Saturday morning and really be like, oh, this is what it is, and this is what it's supposed to be. It's like something just opens up. So don't underestimate the power of releasing that young bullshit, okay? And then also with Mars trine Uranus, I got it right that time. You could also, find that the unusual is good, applying the new you to your vision. So after you kind of clear out all the spiritual gunk and junk on Friday, you can approach Saturday with fresh energy and with the ability to really move into your next phase. At 3:06 a.m., we have the moon opposite Jupiter. So please, please, please do not play yourself trying to go too hard and do too many things at once. Balance. Balance is key. Exercise restraint, use tact, use grace. If you get into an argument, please do not hop out of your body and talk crazy to people. It's not time for that. Like, just bring it on down, center it, just handle it as diplomatically as you can. And, because you don't need that energy. You don't need that mess. Like, it's enough. That Mars trine Uranus early in the day is already going to be super combative. That's a lot. That's real. That's kind of fighting energy, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear about, sudden attacks or unfortunately bombings in other countries. So also maybe, like colleges or churches. So, just be careful Saturday. Stay vigilant, stay aware. But it's definitely energy that could be chaotic, honestly. So yeah, just be aware and mindful of how you talk to people. Period, but especially on Saturday, because people will kind of be knucking and bucking and ready to fight. So unless you're just ready to fight and you're about that life, I mean, hey, I don't know, but I wouldn't advise it under this energy. It's too much craziness going on with the Pisces full moon. It's an eclipse. I mean, it's just, it's going to be big events that happen that, really shake it up. Then at 1:35 p.m., we have Venus quincunx Chiron. This is, making adjustments for love and money, or the women in your life. And, make sure that you can, start to let go of those wounds. Chiron deals with wounded, or being a wounded healer. And, trust that things will be okay, that things will work out for your highest good. And, it's either a time to, find some healing, maybe through, women or people you know. Or it could just be a time to, maybe heal some of your wounds by getting gussied up and cute and going out and just, kind of finding your healing that way. Anything that you can do that deals with beauty, be it art or, fashion, style, or, dolling yourself up, just do that. You have to make adjustments and you have to kind of put some action behind, what you do in order to find your healing and to find your peace. So, then at 5:54 p.m. Eastern time, we have the moon trine Saturn. Finally, I can say Saturn. I've been trying to say it like all the last couple minutes. But this is a helpful aspect for endurance. Aries loves to start, and Sagittarius likes to kind of carry things out, or at least, see it through a transition. But Saturn wants to get things done. So, moon trine Saturn, it's, feeling this new energy and channeling it into getting this stuff done. Because it's time to work. Saturday is a good time under this moon trine Saturn to start, new habits, new rituals. It's also a good time to, gather your resources in order to tackle problems. So you may not necessarily be completely ready to start your new fitness regimen on Saturday, but maybe you can start writing the list or writing out the plan. When are you going to work out? Where are you going to work out? Do you have workout clothes? What kind of workouts are you going to do? How much weight would you like to lose, or how much weight would you like to gain? What's the best gym for you to go to? Should you go at your job, or should you go to an outside gym like a LA Fitness or Planet Fitness, or maybe you need to get a trainer, or any host of things that you need to pull together in order to make this new healthy you happen. So yeah. Then we have Sunday. Sunday the 18th kicks off at 12:39 a.m. with the moon square Pluto. Lots of conflict, strong feelings coming up to the surface. Could be some frustration, some anger, some bitterness. Just wait for the tension to pass. Wait for kind of take a moment and just kind of, you don't have to hop and react to every little thing. But also, it could also be, a chance to really show yourself, like, how are you holding yourself back from change? Like, how are you allowing yourself to really shift and move forward? A lot of people, you may have worked and now you're in this new position of leadership, or maybe, you become an influencer and you're kind of starting to not believe your own hype, but, kind of be more aware of, how do I say this, your role in the scheme of things, like where you fit in the hierarchy and, whatever. So don't allow the conflict to overshadow what's really being said or intimated through the conflict. It could be that, you're not acting to your full potential. You're not really, completely being who you say you are. So just be mindful of how you may be holding yourself back from the changes that you need to make or that you want to make. Because we can want to make changes in our lives, but we could hold ourselves back from making them. So, this moon square Pluto could really expose some of that for you. Then at 2:27 a.m., we have the moon quincunx Mercury. And this is, again, think before you speak. And also just, are you using your new self or your old self or your new or old mindset in order to, find the right words? Are you speaking like, old you or new you? And also you have to remember, mindset. Are you there? And what do you need to do to get there? Because, you could be in a new kind of playing field where you're making different decisions and you're in new situations, and you really need to kind of accept and adopt the fact, like, oh, I need to kind of rewrite my mental manual of, well, what do I do when someone, hurts my feelings? Now, the old me would have, lashed out or not said anything at all or whatever. But, wait, we're operating with a new me. So new me, what's the new manual? What's the new protocol? That's what you need to figure out. Are you operating on an old manual, an old mental manual? And if you're new, if you're really actually who you say you are, and if you're actually a brand new person, then you need to conduct yourself differently and you need to think differently. So there may need to be some adjustments around that. All right. Then at 4:06 a.m., we have Venus opposite Uranus. So this could be some breakup energy, could be some shakeups in your social circles, your relationships. Or an exciting person could suddenly appear. You suddenly meet somebody and it's like, oh, you're dope. I'm dope. Let's be dope together. But, just kind of go with the flow and, see where it goes. Don't rush to jump into anything. Because, again, we're just getting through with that eclipse on Friday and things are still a little shaky and things still need to settle. So this Venus opposite Uranus could also be a fear of commitment. You could really, somebody could really present themselves to you and be like, hey girl, I'm really trying to get at you. I want to be with you or, whatever. And you may be like, oh my God, I thought I wanted to be with somebody, but I don't know, I'm scared. And so that could also come to the surface as well. Make sure that you curb any impulse spending. You may meet somebody new and you want to impress them, so you take them out to this fancy restaurant and you realize you don't have the money. Like, don't play yourself. Like, don't do that. Like, that's not cute. Especially under Venus and Libra. Under Venus and Libra, you better have that money, honey. Like, don't take me on a date and you don't have any money. No, don't do that. Like, please check your wallets, check your bank accounts, check all of that. Like, don't. That's in bad taste. Don't do that. That's not cute at all. So, but you could also get some insight as well, thanks to the next aspect coming up, which is at 2:32 p.m. and it's the moon conjunct Uranus. So that's, spontaneous, fiery energy. Again, we could hear more news about, conflict or, especially any people that are in sports or the military or like, big head honchos, CEO type, leadership folk. We could hear some crazy news about them as well. But this energy, is very spontaneous and is very inspirational. So you could get bursts of insight, insight about who you are as well. Like, it may kind of click to you and be like, oh, okay, now I get it. And if something comes to you, make sure you write it down. Make sure you document it so that you have it and that you can refer back to it just in case, because, our old tickers be losing it sometimes. So I don't know why I said ticker like that. Usually people refer to that as the ticker, but I guess just because that's how I feel about my brain, because my brain be bumping, honey, just constantly thinking about stuff. But anyway, that moon conjunct Uranus, again, very erratic energy. So just be mindful. Please be careful around any sharp objects, also around fire. If you happen to, hit your head or something, please go directly to the hospital. Aries rules the head. So any Uranus also rules freak accidents. So just be careful, be mindful, try not to get into any arguments, especially not any physical altercations, because it's not pretty. So do your best to chill on that. Then at 3:30 p.m. we have the moon opposite Venus. So, Venus is just getting the business with all these oppositions and adjustments. But, this is like unsettled relationships, any particular battles or a desire to fight. Like I said, people are going to be in the mood to fight. Choose your battles wisely. Act with, choose peace and harmony. And, are you really, and also just ask yourself, like, are you really mad at them or are you mad at yourself? That's the question for the evening. Like, is it really them or is it really you? Like, are you mad? Like, okay, because they hurt you or did X, Y, Z, but how did you contribute to that? Or maybe it's not even them. Maybe you did something and you want to be mad at them or blame them for something, but you were the one that did it. Like, you know? Then at 4:11 p.m., we have the moon trine Mars. And that is, giving you this confident, full of drive feeling. You can feel like who you are is starting to really align with how you want to achieve your vision. Like you feel like, okay, you know, I'm 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 out here. I got this, this accomplishment is lit. Like I got, these receipts. I've done these things. Like, okay, I'm starting to see that I'm like really on like, phase 2 of like phase 5 of my vision. Like, oh, this is becoming real. Okay, I see it. It's cool. All right. You can see that things are really starting to crystallize and be, made real and tangible. And if you do have any feelings of doubt or feeling down, because Saturn can, again, trigger restriction or depression or things like that. So if you are very prone to depression, just, Saturn transits, just be mindful that those are your only moments. And it's not necessarily a reflection on you or the work that you haven't done on yourself or whatever. It's just, it's just that energy. So don't take these momentary transits as something that indicates, something about who you are or the work that you've done or, any of those things. So just know that the transits are temporary. All right. And if you do feel bad, if you do feel, the depression kind of growing a bit, that can be cured through physical activities. So, go to the gym, go for a run or have sex. Like, well, if you haven't, cussed each other out by the end of the weekend, or it may be time for some makeup sex. Who knows? But that is that. And the last aspect for Sunday, the 18th, is at 7:14 p.m. Eastern, and that is the moon quincunx the sun. And that could be some anxious energy. Could be some maybe overly critical energy, but it could also be just, taking what you've learned over the course of the weekend, especially in just, last several years in general, but kind of getting comfortable with this new you and integrating that vision and just putting everything together. And this could be the time where you just, kind of relax a little bit. Try not to focus too much on what you don't think you did or whatever. If you're do what you can to relax. If you do take that run, if you do go to the gym or whatever, just have a good meal and chill out. And just, don't try to stress yourself out thinking too much about whatever it is I did or didn't, blah, blah, blah. Just if you want to, feel better, just make a plan. If it's something that you feel like needs some tweaking, write it down and be done. So yeah, just to review. So the moons this week, we have a Capricorn moon, which is about, getting to work, establishing things, building, starting to really build your legacy. Like Capricorn moon was really for us to start to make the tough calls that need to be made in order to move toward your legacy. There's nothing wrong with wanting to build an empire. There's nothing wrong with wanting to, really build something that lasts. And then we have the Aquarius moon to help us kind of get out of our feelings and detach a little bit to, and also to get us to connect with people, to connect with like-minded folks and to see who we can learn from and see who we can collaborate with, because Jupiter is in Libra until next October, I want to say. And that's very much about opportunities coming through relationship. So, this is kind of a precursor to seeing, what relationships need some mending, what relationships need to begin, and what relationships need to be maintained. Like, do they need a little more water? Do they need a little more sun? Like, that kind of thing. And then the Pisces moon is about us really getting in tune with spirit and knowing that we're not alone in this, but also that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So you can't really forget about the spiritual side, but you also can't forget about the human side. So, checking in with your body, making sure that you're good, making sure you're feeding yourself foods that help, really fuel you to do this good work. And then the Aries moon, helping you to assert your new identity. Because after these eclipses, you truly are a new person. A solar eclipse, it hits and it helps you, figure out how you shine and how you want to present yourself and how you want to walk through the world. And then the full moon, the lunar eclipse rather, deals with, your emotions and who you are emotionally, and kind of having a reset and setting off changes that are going to occur over the next 6+ months. So after this week, things, we won't be feeling the same. We're gonna get some wake up calls in several areas. So that's pretty much all I have for you this week. Please, thank you so much for watching this video. Why did I say please? Thank you so much. I'm doing the most. Anyway, thank you so much for watching Weekly Wisdom. And if you would like to get a reading with me, you can go to ashleighdjohnson.com/services. And I swear Mercury retrograde is doing a number on my brain. Like, I know all these things, and it's just when I say them, they just don't. I don't know. But yeah, ashleighdjohnson.com/services. Keep an eye on my website, because I'm actually this Mercury retrograde in Virgo season period. It's getting me to realize I really want to revamp my offerings and my services. So check out my site. See what intrigues you, and if you're into it, then hit me up, get in touch, because things are going to be changing pretty soon, and so a service you may like may be leaving, possibly permanently. So just make sure you go to ashleighdjohnson.com/services and check that out. And that's all I got. If you'd like to follow me on social media, I am on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, and Periscope at Ashleigh DJ. And that's ASHLEIGHDJAY. And that's it. So once again, thank you so much for watching Weekly Wisdom. And I hope the next 7 days are good to you and that you are good to yourself. So long.